Press conference. Coach will start us off with a quick opening statement. Please raise your hands for questions. Coach?
All right, good afternoon. First of all, just obviously very disappointed. We did not finish that game on Saturday. Thought our guys played extremely well for 2.5 quarters. Did not in the fourth quarter, ultimately. And, I don't think a lead is safe in college football anyway, particularly if you don't play well in the final quarter. Several reasons, I think, why the outcome happened. Obviously, very disappointed not knocking the field goal down right before half. Thought it was a big momentum switch right there. Not getting a three, giving them three, so a 6-point turnaround. And then, did good coming out in the third, then just gave up the score in the third, and then fourth quarter. Did not get any first downs offensively, and then obviously letting them drive and score. So disappointed. But now, moving on. We got a big opponent this week, Miami, and one that we've been talking about all year. All summer, all camp. We realize, how big a game this is. I mean, the 228th time playing, the record is 60-60-7. You can't get any tighter than that. And, we all have, you guys have seen and read and heard about the series. We don't know what the series is going to be, for the future, what it's going to hold. So all the more importance of, getting that bell back. So, obviously this week, need to have a great game plan. This is the team that's used to winning. They're coming off a season where they won the MAC last year, have their leader back at the quarterback position, who's a really good player, great arm. Last year I think rushed for 75 on us, so he's got some legs as well. They got their linebacker back, number 15, who was a MAC Defensive Player of the Year, who's an outstanding player. He's the quarterback on defense, makes all the calls. They're coached well, they play hard, all three phases. They don't give you anything, you have to earn everything. And obviously going and playing at their stadium will be different as well. So, but we're looking forward to this game and looking forward to going and, trying to get that bell back here to Cincinnati.
Gavin, Scott.
Coach, when you go back over the tape, Corey Kiner had 3 carries in the fourth quarter for 43 yards, I think. Was there any, second thought to we maybe should have given Corey the rock a little bit more in the fourth quarter to slow them down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we want to get the ball to Corey. I mean, he's a great runner. He ran great Saturday. Part of that was the fact that we had to punt several times in the fourth quarter, where I think throughout the game we were, getting some first downs, and now you're getting 3 more opportunities to get him the ball. He ran hard, and had to shoot 150 yards, but yeah, I mean, obviously, if you look back on it, maybe getting there a few more carries for him. Because he was chucking out some big-time plays for us. And the guys up front, I thought, did a good job throughout the day. I mean, they were bringing a lot of pressures, throughout the whole day. But obviously, to give Corey the ball is an opportunity for him to make a play. And, but when he's not in there, whoever the running back is needs to make the plays. I mean, we count on those guys as well, and they have to be able to make the plays if they're in the game.
You saw the players after the game. You've seen them since. Do players take a gut punch like that a lot better than the fans?
Well, I mean, we have to. You're going to be upset. You're going to be. Everybody hates losing. Like, I don't care who you are. No one hates losing more than the players and the coaches. I mean, this is what we're here every day. We're trying our best to win. So we obviously hate it. In this business, though, you can't, after you dwell a little bit on the loss and you figure out what you didn't do well, but then you have to move on. And I thought our guys did a really good job coming back on Sunday, owning the loss, and then moving on to Miami. Our guys have been here, yesterday evening, and today, all day in the training room, in the weight room, preparing their bodies to come out here for a great practice.
Keegan?
You mentioned before the season that it could take 3-4 weeks to kind of find out what team you have. Does a loss like that kind of set you back on that and trying to establish an identity, or does it maybe help when you see people's reaction to a loss like that?
Yeah, I mean, you're still trying to figure your football team out. I don't think we're everybody across the country doing that. We see college football, you see how it is. I think offensively, we got a good idea who we are offensively. I mean, I think, we've thrown the ball well. The first 2 weeks, we ran the ball well. I think we've taken care of the ball. So I think offensively, just got to put points on the board. We all know that. Defensively, we're still trying to figure some things out because, You know, obviously a new defense, new scheme, a lot of new players on that side of the ball. You know, I think, shoot, I was proud of those guys, man, the first like 2.5 quarters defensively. I would say that's a really good offense. They did fast paced, they keep the pressure on you. Quarterback's very good. Running back's outstanding, you know, so, and for us to be able to do like we did and to hold them to 6 points for most of the game was outstanding. And now you got to figure out how to finish. You know, we gave up some big plays there in the fourth quarter. You know, we had opportunities to sack him too. I mean, we had guys there, we slip off, you know, he made some guys miss. He wasn't fast, but elusive. You know, going back and watching the film, I mean, there's several times where we got guys there, we're just falling off, you know, or we're flying right by him when he sticks his foot in the ground. So, you know, we have to do a better job of tackling, getting guys on the ground, you know, and I think if you do that, and, you know, then you got a greater opportunity obviously to win those games, but we're still, you know, figuring out which guys need to be in positions to play and to give us the best chance to be successful on defense.
It should get better with Dante, but what can you do to improve the run defense? Miami has not run the ball well thus far, but you guys probably have given them up more than you would care to.
Oh, no question. Well, we got to tackle better. I mean, you go back and watch the film, and, you know, a lot of our defense fitting is safeties coming down, making tackles, and our safeties, you know, our weak safety, we had 3 different guys come down and miss tackles on some long runs. I mean, that, you know, they're there to make the play. You know, it just didn't make it. You know, so we have to tackle better. We have players in position. You know, that's one thing we have to do is you go back and watch the film. And like I said, we had quarterback hemmed up several times in the backfield. We don't get him down. You know, those plays change games because, you know, now you're looking at a long yardage situation as opposed to a first down. I mean, so, but I think a lot of it has to do with tackling, you know, being in the right spots and getting the guys down.
It didn't seem like there was a ton of 5- and 6-man rushes. You mentioned at your radio show on Tuesday that there will be much more against Pitt than there was against Towson. I guess why the hesitancy to send all those guys? Is it just trying to hammer up the defense in the best way in the base, or what is it?
Well, I mean, again, just trying to figure out what we do well and you know what we don't do well. You obviously don't want to give up. You know, if you bring a lot of pressure, then you're a little bit shorthanded in the back end, so you don't want to give up the big plays. You know, but obviously if you don't, then the quarterback's got more time, so then you got to cover longer, right? So I mean, there's that give and take right there, and figuring out what's going to be the best. We did bring more pressures in the last game. You know, I think. You know, as you go back and look at it, probably more than double, maybe triple than what we did the first game. You know, again, you go back and watch the film. There's, you know, as you watched it live, you probably don't realize sometimes we got guys there and we're just not making the plays. You know, we just have to be able to get them down. But I do think, you know, as we continue to move forward, you know, whatever gives us the best chance to stop people, that's what we have to do. And if it is bringing pressure, then that's what we're going to need to do and get more guys closer to the box.
Mankins had a big pick in the game in the first half. Then you were without him. Is he going to be okay? He could make a difference in the secondary. Yeah,
I mean, we hated to lose him in the second half. You know, he got the pick there in the first half, and you know, smart player knows, you know, can do the run and the pass. He's still right now. He's day to day. We'll see. We'll know more hopefully by the middle of this week to see if we'll have him available this week or not. You know, Canteen slid over and played the free safety position in the second half. Logan, you know, filled in most of the day in the strong safety in the second half. So. You know, we'll have to figure out, you know, what positions we need to put our guys if he's not available. But we'll see where he's at middle of the week.
It looked like there was a Pitt defensive player that tackled Brennan from behind and kind of held on to his ankle. He got up limping, and then from there, I don't think he was as efficient in the passing game. Did you hear anything on the sideline about him not being 100%? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think one of the runs early in the game, one of their players grabbed him, you know, tried to twist his ankle at the end of the play, tweaked it up a little bit, you know, obviously finished the rest of the game and, you know, played. You know, I don't know if it had an effect on him throwing the ball. I think during the second half, they started, you know, more pressure was coming and several of them were throwaways. And I think, too, if you're looking at it, it looks like, okay, some high throws and that type of thing, but I think throwing it away, you know, but I don't really think it had much effect on him throwing, you know, but it did tweak it and, you know, he's better now, but obviously affected him a little bit in the second half.
Last year was your first loss to a MAC team, but you've certainly played them. Northern Illinois, big win. Bowling Green plays Penn State pretty tough. Is that league, do they get discounted a lot?
I think so. You know, I was at Toledo in 2009. Toledo's always been a team that's been very good. Ohio beat Iowa State last year. I mean, you know, these MAC teams, man, they can beat anybody, you know, on any given day. They've proven that. I mean, and last week, IU goes into South Bend and wins. You mentioned the Bowling Green team that played great against Penn State. So yeah, they're always good. I mean, I think about Miami, and I look back last year, and I go back and look at their scores. I mean, the last time they gave up more than 21 points was our game last year. I mean, that's a lot of games, because they're always in the game. Like they don't give up a lot, and so therefore they're always in the game. And I think a lot of those MAC teams are that way, where they're always, if they get to keep it close and you get into the fourth quarter, man, they got a great chance of winning it. And so I think in the MAC as well, when I was at App State, you always have a little chip on your shoulder also. So anytime you're playing a power level, you want to prove that, hey, we belong at that level. And so you're going to get it. You're going to get their best shot. It's a big rivalry game too. But I think even in general, when you're playing up, you always want to show that you prove to be at that level.
JT.
First true road game. First road game, not true road game. But it's close. So are there any different preparation tactics that you guys are going to take this week with it being such a close road game?
No, I mean we'll treat it like just like a road game, a normal road game. Other than you don't have to get on a plane. We get on a bus and we're going to drive to the hotel. So it'll be a typical normal travel game for us. Another noon kick. So you got to get up early, getting ready to rock and roll and go. But it is nice to be able to play close. So now hopefully we'll have a lot of Cincinnati fans. They'll be going to the game. So hopefully we'll be able to at least get most of that stadium cheering for Cincinnati.
In terms of local recruiting, how important is this game?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously big. I mean, talked to several recruits last night on the phone and that are from right around the area, and talking about this game and talking about this rivalry and how important it is to us and into this state. So it's obviously huge. I mean, because whatever is going to happen on Saturday is going to get replayed a lot throughout the area, and everybody's going to hear it, including these recruits. And so you want to make it obviously positive for us.
You got Jamoy and Tony involved a little bit more this week. How important are they, opposite Xavier, to kind of really make this offense take a jump?
I think it's big. Obviously, we've thrown the ball to Xavier and Joe, and to have some more guys get involved is huge, and it just gives them confidence too. Jamoy played at Chattanooga, UTC, and to come out there, man, what a great throw down the sideline and a great job by Jamoy staying in bounds. He gets pushed on the play, the ball's in the air, he still stays in bounds, makes the catch for a touchdown. That was a huge play on 3rd and long. And then Tony scoring a touchdown in the red zone, huge play in the back of the end zone. So, I feel like, and then we hit Jamoy on a couple little stop routes as well. I mean, he's a guy I think can really help us. And also with the run after the catch, because he's a strong runner. I think he'll continue to get better and better in our offense. And Tony certainly will help us. And both of those guys are kind of rotating at that Z position. So we're glad to be able to get some more guys involved, and hopefully we'll continue to get, Tyron more involved in the slot with AT as well. And anytime we can do that and spread it out, then obviously the defense cannot just key on one or two guys. I think it'll certainly help our offense.
Roar makes a big play, but he only finished with 3 catches. Now, I think he was targeted 8-9 times. What can you do to improve his openness, if that's a word?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the way that we're playing some things that it opened up, I feel like some more for Xavier and Jamoy and Tony, the outside guys. I mean, there was a few times where we were trying to get him the ball, but we want to take what the defense gives us. He had some impactful catches, the ones that he did catch were big plays, but certainly want to try to get the ball to him more. I think he's, obviously a big time weapon in the run game and the pass game. So, we'll look at different ways to try to get him the ball as we move forward.
Looked like you guys could have easily had 4 interceptions in that game, 3 in the first half. Is that something you look at as plays that need to be made, or are those kind of like bonuses, cherry on top?
No, we need to make them. We need to make them. I mean, if you talked about not rushing as many. If you're not rushing as many, you got more, pass defense. Well, you better be able to tip balls and get some interceptions. And we had, Logan had one where it's probably a pick 6 if he gets his. Canteen had one, that he undercut a guy in the red zone. So, you're taking points off the board there. It was great to see, Minkins get his early in the game, the first drive. So, yeah, I mean, we certainly need to get more interceptions. There's no question. And when they're giving you an opportunity, you got to make the most of it. We have to catch those balls. And I think that's where, your defense really comes to life. Because I think, anytime you are playing a defense that is a little bit bend but don't break well, if that happens, then you got to stop them in the red zone, or you got to get interceptions or fumbles. And fumbles are another thing. We hadn't had many opportunities for fumbles. I think we had one the first week, but we really hadn't seen the ball on the ground very much. So really trying to get our guys, once we're making that tackle, to try to strip, try to get some more attempts there as well. So yeah, we certainly need to create more turnovers.
Sorsby's among the top passers, NCAA, Big 12, all that. I believe last year, a couple of bigger games were on the road. How do you expect him to respond in this first road?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I think he'll continue to get better as he understands more and more what we're trying to do offensively. He's got a great grasp of it. But, I think he's a good player. I mean, he's a talented player. He can throw the football. He's been making good decisions. So if he just continues to do that, then he'll continue to put great stats up. So it's all about taking what the defense has given us, not trying to force the ball. He did try to force one, I think, and the guy picked it off, but he was out of bounds in the end zone. But that was a forced throw. We got to eliminate all those and just take what they give us. He continues to do that, man. He'll look up at the end of the game and the end of the season, and he'll have great stats. But it's all about moving the offense, getting first downs and then scoring touchdowns. I mean, that's the job of the quarterback, and that's what we got to do a better job of.
Obviously, a brutal loss, and a lot of people were upset. But in the grand scheme of things, everything's still in front of you this season. What's your message to the fan base for people who are upset that you want to stick with this team, that you think you can accomplish?
Yeah, no, I mean, shoot, man, it's the second game. I mean, we got a lot of ball left. We got a big game this week, obviously against Miami, and this is what we're all focused on. It was a very difficult loss. Obviously, we lost by 1 point on the last-second field goal. That sucks. I don't care who it is. There were several games that way this weekend, and to be on the losing end of the stick is not good. But there's a lot of ball left in the season. We feel like we got a good football team. We got a connected football team. We got guys that have a lot of fight in them. And it was shown over the last 2 days here. So, we're going to continue to battle, continue to go out there and put a great product out there. We just got to go out and make plays and find a way to win the game in the fourth quarter. We've had a lot of close games, and since I've been here, a lot of close games, and we got to find a way to win those.
You might not want to divulge this, but do you show tape of them running across to get the bell as motivation, or do you practice running toward the bell? Because it's having seen it a few times on both ends, it's quite the charge.
No, but I mean, there's several things that we have done this summer, this week, already in the 2 days to talk about and inspire our guys and let them know how big this is for this week. So I think, at the end of the game, you win the game, you know what to do. I mean, we don't have to show them that or talk about that. You win the game, you go run and get that bell. So I think every team that knows that, if you're playing for something, then that's what you're going to do. So we've made it clear to our guys how important the game is.
Final question, JT.
Last season, the troubles in the red zone against Miami was kind of the undoing of that game. What would you be doing this week different to kind of hammer home how important red zone, less field goals, more touchdowns will be important on Saturday?
It's huge. I mean, touchdowns are huge. It was obviously a big part last year. Just got finished watching it again. It's not fun to watch, not being able to get in the end zone. We were down there several times. They're good. They're stingy once they get down there. They, obviously watching all the games from last year, they're like that against most guys, most people. We got to do a great job. We got to get a great plan together. We have to execute the plan on game day. If we get an opportunity in the red zone, we got to find a way to get in the end zone. Again, points is where it's at. Scoring those touchdowns obviously, helps you so much more than have to settle for the field goals. But if you do settle for the field goal, you got to knock them down. So no matter what, we got to score once we get down in the red zone. And I think last year that's where we fell short for sure.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.